Welcome to Wandering Wolf Live.
Welcome.
I'm excited for today. We got a lot of cool stuff to get into.
Ooh. Some really
Got our
cool
good friend
stuff.
Dan joining us. What else? What else we got going on? We got a Greece tour we just launched. We got a conference coming up. There's a lot of cool things happening in the ancient history community.
Yeah, what do we want to pull up first? Show that Greece tour?
Yeah, let's show them the Greece and then let's get into the conference. That'll take us into DeDunking. Because I'm looking forward to a topic of discussion tonight.
Me too. It's one of my favorites.
Greece is live and ready for you to join.
Look at those.
Myself, Luke Caverns, and Will from Incredible History are all doing a trip to Greece in November with Sammi too. Sammy's coming.
Mm-hmm. I'll be there.
You know what? I have not been to Greece. Of all the places, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sites around the world that I've been, and I haven't been to Greece. I think that is like criminal at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I know.
I mean, it's not crazy. I haven't been to a lot of places, so not crazy for me.
And then conference, Quest for Ancient Civilizations. We're going hard right now because we are almost just 1 month out. And it's going to be in Sedona. And we hope to see everybody there because Scottsdale was amazing. Sammi, you were there. Dan was there. I was there. Look at that lineup. There he is, front and center. Sedona's a trip. Sedona's fun. So this is gonna be cool. Last time I was in Sedona was the event with Graham. I mean, had a blast, met so many cool people. And that's really what it's all about. Everybody will get to hang out and get to connect with your favorite speakers. We're going to be doing a bunch of like panels and different things like that. So with just a month out, now's the time to get your tickets. If you want to join us out in Sedona, that's going to be amazing. I hear there's going to be a bunch of little side quests too. Dan and I were talking about some of that. You know what? Let's bring Dan in.
Where'd Mike go?
Oh,
hi,
Super Sexy D.
Hey, there he is. Hey. I've been called that by Graham once, so that just
I love that. That's always your name on the interview too. Yeah. Not DeDunking, Super Sexy D.
So many people's moms love it too. Yeah, it's not much, man. Not much. How are you doing, Mike? How you doing, Sammi?
Good. Great to see you guys
as always. Yeah,
you've been tearing it up on the social media lately. I've been
watching. Thanks. Yeah, I've been having some fun. It's spent some time doing some internet stuff. I got to talk to Kurt Metzger yesterday, which I'll derp with Kurt. So it's fun. Second time on there, and that was awesome.
And that's out now. People can go watch that over on Kurt's channel.
Amazing.
Yep. Brian Forster's moving to Washington. Somebody said that would be interesting. If he does, I'm going to have to hook up with that guy.
What happened? Sure.
Brian Forster is potentially moving to Washington. It's somebody saying in the chat.
Los Angeles?
Like to Washington.
Brian Forster. Washington.
Yeah, that's where all the fucking skulls were, man. I mean, seriously, like we're gonna get into that's like it's really weird because they found all those in Paracas, but in Washington, it doesn't take a lot of thinking to see there was thousands of the fucking things around. The Lewis and Clark reported one site that had above ground burials where they would put their deceased would be in a canoe that they would put up in a tree. And there were 3,000 or so burials there, and they were all free people of the Chinook and Salish speaking people. So these would have been, all of them would have had modified craniums. So that was the Chinook sign of freedom. If you were a freeborn Chinook or Salish speaking person, your parents modified your skull when you were young. And this is something a lot of people get confused about. It wasn't just the nobles in the Pacific Northwest like it was like in Hawaii, for example. Only the nobles would do this. In the Pacific Northwest, only the slaves didn't. if your parents were modifying your skull and it gave you an infection and they had to stop, you were cursed by the gods and weren't, for whatever reason, you were a lowborn if your head wasn't shaved. It was actually an insult.
So
Was like,
let me just back you up, because until you started dropping all this, I had no idea about any of this in the Americas. How did you figure this out and find this out?
A friend of mine named Sean Mooney here, he's a local, he grew up in Longview, Washington, and he's looked into some of this stuff. And he'd mentioned to me a few of these things. And I had went to one of the Lewis and Clark forts when I was a kid, and they had images of the drawings of them modifying the skulls. But I'd forgotten about it. It had been so long. But dude started talking to me about it, and then he hands one of the things he shows me is this book that's from 1960, the Smithsonian Institution publication. It's like 20 pages, and it's the Chinook sign of freedom, the skull of the famous Chief Comley, who's no longer famous, but Lewis and Clark talked to him. When they published their records, he was just as popular as Sacagawea was, and he had an elongated skull, and this is just like lost on the record now. You even see pictures of him, and they don't show the elongated skull. Even the damn statue that they made of him, this conveniently has this big headdress that you can't really see. It's weird. It's like they just kind of hide it.
Okay, where I'm trying not to interject my own opinion here, right?
Because go for it.
Anytime Smithsonian gets brought up, anything to do with the Smithsonian, there's some kind of cover up and for lack of a better word, fuckery about, right? So that they're always funding. You go back in time and you see that they're always funding research, and then that research disappears, or the person that they were funding wants to talk about it more openly, and they just take them off of anything and just discredit them, including like stuff in the Grand Canyon. So how much of what we know comes from the Smithsonian versus other sources? Is it all just
almost none of it from the Smithsonian?
Okay.
What we know about Comley's skull, we got from the Smithsonian because it's got measurements and stuff. But the vast majority of these things are actually actively being hidden. I showed this yesterday. Here, I'll add these real quick here, and you can pull them up. Sorry, I should have done this already. But yeah, there's not even a question at this point. It's okay. This is a map from 1936 or 1938, and this is showing the elongated skulls around the distribution around the world. Okay, and so you go fast forward to 2016, and that's from a peer-reviewed published paper thing. 2016, this comes out. Now, if you compare those two, you'll see that Hawaii, for example, on this one's doesn't have any mention of elongated skulls. The Midwest is just kind of this small little arrow. It's not really pointed out that a big chunk of the Pacific Islands are missing. But if you go back to the other one, Hawaii's used. The Midwest of the United States is just full. The coast is covered. And if you just look at this distribution to begin with, doesn't it just scream seafaring civilization? I mean, this is, if you look at this map and saw like the Kelp Highway hypothesis, I mean, this isn't, but it's being actively hidden from us. Again, this is, they're dumbing it down. I mean, hell, this map here has Kennewick Man cited as one of the sites, and Kennewick Man wasn't even, by the time this peer-reviewed paper was published, the Kennewick Man was long known not to have been modified cranium. They hide this stuff, and I'm not really sure what the point is, but it's got to the point you can't even find images of a bunch of these, like images or even the drawings. There was a skull from the island of Nui that is 96% as wide as it is tall, which if you like fucking Stewie Griffin shit, right? It's like, like kids' parents hitting it with a mallet or something, right? I mean, it's like, good God. But you can't find any images of it. No, it's repatriated. And go get on Google's AI and ask it if there were any elongated skulls, if the people in Nui practiced artificial cranial deformation. It'll be like, oh, no, other people did. But then I can go show you a freaking article where people are talking about it. It's just Google's AI just doesn't scrub that page.
Is this all skull shaping, or has the volume been?
No.
You know, you have the differences in skulls down, like specifically in Peru, where the cranial volume, internal volume, is larger, which isn't possible just through shaping or
Yes.
binding.
Yeah. The ones up here were not. How do you put it? There has been basically no work done on the inside that I'm aware of. I couldn't find anything with them talking about. Here, I'll remove these things. Sorry, I couldn't find anything with them talking about how about the insides of it. It's just the exterior that they've measured, like the orbital cavities and stuff of the eyes. The Concomly skull looks to be, it could be. It might have had a little bit more. It might have had a little bit more. It's too big of a. Oh, no, is it? Yeah. Oh, there we go. That might have had slightly larger, but he was very clear that his parents did that to him, and that he did that to his daughters and stuff. This was again, this was real common in the Chinook. But this is repatriated, and we can't find it now because it was a real problem with the Pacific Northwest. Was that when the time that Lewis and Clark showed up there was right at the same time as that phrenology shit took off. And that's that, if you guys have seen Django Unchained, when he's going off about how the skulls have bumps and stuff. So all the people that believed that the shape and size of a skull dictated your personality traits and intelligence, this was a playground, right? These guys are over there actively testing our hypothesis. So these skulls became real popular, and they got looted like fucking mad. You wouldn't believe, there's images of hundreds of these. There's images of women in black dresses on the beach like this next to a couple of bones and skulls and shit that they're like, it's the kind of thing you would think was relegated to islands in the South Pacific. but no, it was happening way back then too.
This is wild. I had no idea about how extensive this was, even around the world. I mean, I know head binding is a practice all over the place, but I had no idea that this was like this extensive. And the map that you showed is incredible because it does show that there was some kind of like, sharing of this practice. It would seem like, right? So, are there dating of these skulls that show that further kind of highlight that progression around the world?
To some degree. Really quick, I got a super chat from my mod Nick. I should quickly address. He says the only reason that they think they would cover this up is the fact that they did perform elongation. It's a question that arises: is why did they? And yeah, that is. I'm sorry, you guys can see those ones too. I'm so sorry. I'm used to moderating this stuff myself. Sorry, Sammy. You probably were saving them all to do it one time. I apologize.
No, it's great.
But yeah, it is a good question as to why they did it. It's what they were emulating and who they were emulating, or that's where it really gets speculative. We really can't say, but to go back to your question, Mike, as far as like the dating goes, like there's skulls in China, the oldest that we know of, that are around 10,000 years old. There's the problem with the ones in the Pacific Northwest and whatnot was the way that the natives buried their dead up here was either the canoe style that I mentioned earlier, and they would put their dead in a canoe and raise it up off the ground so nothing could get to it, usually on an island or a big something that mountain lions and shit couldn't get to, right? And eventually the branches would collapse and the body would fall into the water and be washed away, often in the canoe. And so these got washed away, and then because of phrenology, these skulls were very valuable. And so that with Concomly, he was well, out of all the Indians on the Pacific Northwest, he was the biggest friend to the white man. And 3 years after he was dead, some white man came over and chopped his fucking head off to bring back to England, and didn't come back until like 1950 or something. My point is, those skulls were worth a whole lot, and it's racial lines and everything didn't even seem to matter at that point. It was all about money. So we don't know. We just don't know. It's all, even the ones in Peru, same kind of thing. It's like it gets all, they have datings, somewhat better context dating, but it just gets all jumble fucked because you've got so many decades of people that are in it for the money.
Yeah.
And then you get to, it's like the tunnels under Cusco. It's like, oh, they just now discovered these. It's like, oh, fucking Brian Forster's been talking about it for 10 years. 100 years ago, you could have paid a dude like $5 and he'd have ran you all over the damn things. It's
Right.
been well known, right? But now we just found them. Well, tell me why we just found them, because they fucking finished looting them. That's why we just found them.
Unfortunately, that is the truth. And what was the general consensus on the study of like the shaping of the skulls and its effect on people? Was there kind of a general consensus?
Well, phrenology died as a science because it didn't. It failed to make accurate predictions and stuff.
Right.
But it's an interesting side note that the Comley, he attributed he was very shrewd, very smart, and he attributed that to the shape of the skull. That's why he did it to his daughters and stuff. It was believed to make you more in tune with the gods and blessed by nature kind of thing.
Okay.
So it is kind of funny how.
So it's like more of a spiritual practice than anything to do with.
Yeah, it wasn't believed to be like we do this, it makes brain bigger.
Right.
It was more we do this, it's makes us better. But it is pretty crazy when you think about it, man. Like the descriptions, they say that the babies looked like a mouse with its head caught in a trap, the way its eyes bulged out while they were being bound. And so it's like you got to wonder, why they would do such a thing.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of that still in modern times, and it's pretty horrible looking.
Oh man. I
don't know if you can find that, Sammy, but there's pictures out there of babies with their heads being bound and their eyes just
artificial cranial deformation. Artificial cranial deformation is the terms to look for. If you start looking elongated in skulls and stuff, you tend to get funneled into very specific areas. Even with the artificial cranial deformation, they fucking send you to. You can ask about the goddamn island of Nui and say, I want to know about that skull that Stewie Griffin shaped, and they'll be like, yeah, AI will say, yeah, there was no cranial elongation on Nui. You're thinking of Paracas, Peru. It's like, no, I'm fucking not. I know exactly what I'm talking about, you dickhead. Come on. Doesn't care. It just funnels you back to the same shit. And
so I've seen that skull in Peru. There's the skull in Peru that's the fat round one, right? I've seen that one, and it's as odd as the others that I've seen there that are elongated. It's very alien looking. I don't know how you would shape a head that way.
Yeah, they'd had a lot of ways of doing that stuff, but none of them are nice. Like the Hawaiians would use coconut shells and lay their kid, like they would line the inside of it with grass, and then they would like carve the coconut shell to the form that they would want, and they'd put their kid's head in there. Smash the fucking wow. Wonder why we got CPS nowadays. Dude's over on Gilligan's Island.
That's it, Sammy. You found it. So Sammy found the exact image I was thinking of.
Yeah, thank you, God. Fuck.
And that just looks horrible for that child. So what does his head just grow into that?
Like
maybe his eyes, man. Poor baby.
Poor kid.
Yeah. It said the account says it was like comically hideous. That like they tried not to laugh when the child would laugh or something because it was just so like it looked insane. Like it looked like that. Yeah, I tried explaining that to DCF. Nick says, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like does the reasoning go just beyond, like the reasoning has to go just beyond tradition, and like why, if in later generations they are purely doing it out of tradition, like why did they initially start doing it? Like
that's exactly it. Aliens is a popular one. Another species of hominid is a popular one too. I mean, honestly, I brought it up a couple times. It could just be one person. I mean, it takes one Einstein or one Pythagoras to really like change the landscape. And if
Sammy, show that
dude's got some goofy shaped head, and he ends up like making waves in society, it's liable that people would emulate that.
So, where is this practice? Where is this still being practiced around the world? Do we know?
There's a few places in Africa, and there's a few in the islands in the Pacific, they say, but it's not nearly as prevalent as it once was. But they have a place in France that not too long ago they had to step it. I think it was like the 60s or the 50s, the last one. God damn.
Wow.
It's like, man, that's my fucking new Fortnite skin right there. Yeah, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do with that but laugh at it.
Dang, dude.
It's just so far.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that looks like it sucks.
And my kid thinks I'm mean
man.
to him when I don't get him enough V-Bucks. Jesus Christ.
Does the brain like if you elongate your skull that much? Like, okay, look at this one. If you elongate your skull that much, does your brain fill that space?
Yeah,
That's
so your
a-
brain takes the shape of your skull. It grows that way.
So that means that this person's brain is larger.
No, so you can't change the volume.
That looks like it has more volume though.
It
Does it
definitely
not?
does. Yeah.
Is
but
it like
you
one of
can't-
those weird like cup situations? Like it looks like if you poured the cup into the other cup, it would be more, but it's the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't change the volume of the skull that you're growing into, which is so this is good that you're asking this, because this is the main difference between some of these skulls that have a larger volume that have been found around the world and versus binding. So binding your skull like this isn't going to change the internal volume or the size or the overall size of your brain development. That's fixed in human biology. And so there's a difference between the skulls. Some of these skulls that exhibit features like not having the typical growth plates or ridges or sutures, right? And some that are found like in places like Peru where they don't have the typical suture lines, which is really interesting, right? I've never heard any of that be explained very well.
Rebecca's
That
got
some of the elongated skulls do not have typical suture lines.
Yeah, that's that one gets interesting.
Very weird.
It's a lot of it's about age. It can be about age because a lot of those sutures do start closing when you get older. But then that Comley skull that I just showed you, he was in his 60s, and he still had all of his sutures. So it's this is where I joke about it, but honestly, we need some like real hard data done on this. So the thing to do, in all honesty, would be to like clone a couple of people, bind their feet and head at the same time, so you can figure out all these binding things that they did at once. And it's only half as many human rights violations if you do one person with two tests. So, and if we clone them, they don't really have any human rights to begin with. So fuck them. Just take them out to some little island, and when we're done, we'll feed them to some rich dude and call it a day. And anyway,
yeah, I mean, at this point, I think there's probably an island for that.
Yeah, when Kurt asked me yesterday what I thought those
probably going to be Greenland, honestly.
Oh God. When Kurt asked me yesterday what I thought those skulls were, why they did that to their skulls, I said, well, hell, give me recent things. Maybe they were just like prepping their next meal. I massage this a little bit, soak it in some rice rind. Oh, it's so bad, so dark, but it is what it is.
It's so bad, so dark.
But yeah, the interesting thing about you're talking about the ones that are weird, that are anomalous, right? And that's where this cover up really gets ugly. Like, all right, for example, Paracas, Peru. That's where the coolest ones come from. That's where, if you're gonna look at the ones where they're talking about the increased cranial capacity and all that, that's where you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
Well, the best of those best were presumably in the 30s. Rockefeller bought 4 skulls, according to records from them, for $40,000, and brought them back to the United States, and they were displayed in the Met and in the National History Museum in New York, and eventually they were sent back and repatriated to Peru. Now, Peru doesn't know which ones those are in their collection. They're just like, yeah, we just took the ones that Rockefeller had, threw them back in the fucking pile of skulls in the back. Um, and if you want a picture of those skulls, you can't get one. If you want a drawing of those skulls, you can't get one. You want to look at the newspaper article from when they were displayed, you can find it, but there's no photographs. There are no fucking photographs of these things that were displayed in the National History Museum and in the fucking Met. There's no drawings. There's none. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say when they were repatriated to Peru, they never left New York City, and some other dude just bought them from the fucking Rockefellers, right, or from Peru, right fucking there. This is consistent, just like the head I said earlier with the 96%. If it's got a crazy ass measurement, or if it was cherry picked by some weird motherfucker like Rockefeller, you ain't going to find a picture of that goddamn thing. It's GOHN gone.
So how do you learn about? How did you
find the records of the records? You find people talking about it. You find in the history of the Paracas stuff, for example, they were basically getting $300 a year to preserve 600 mummy bundles, and then all of a sudden they got 40 grand, and it's well documented. And Rockefeller came back with 4, and that's well documented, and they were displayed. That's well documented. But you want the pictures? Sorry. The skull from Nui that had Stewie Griffin's skull, same thing. Just like there's the measurements, we wrote about it, but the pictures and stuff. And here's the best part. Here's the smoking gun for the conspiracy. These universities still have the information. They still have the photographs. They still have the writings. They still have the drawings. You can't have them. And it's like, why? Oh, well, it's an indigenous thing. None of these people want you to see the drawings of their natives, of their ancestors.
Have you reached out to anyone to try to at universities?
I've emailed a couple of universities, but to no response. The tribes are going to be even more. It's going to take kid gloves with the tribes, because the reason that we don't have them, they were stolen, like I said, wholesale. So like Concomly's skull was repatriated. Well, it's not in display, and for some reason the tribes won't tell us honkies where the fuck they hid it. Fool me once, right? They don't want us to come back and steal the goddamn thing a second time, which is honestly a legitimate concern, not because we're white. The fucking Baghdad Battery, you know where that is right now? Nobody does, except one dude. When it was the last time they opened up that museum, it got stolen. Yeah, look it up. They fucking opened up the museum and did some shit, and it fucking disappeared. Duh.
Let's Sammy, let's bring up word of mouth. Just dropped a couple comments on here. Let's address those real quick before we get too far ahead on another topic. It goes without knowing they all are emulating a long head hominin, which means that there was intermingling with long head people. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like there was some other kind of, like, this was emulation of?
Quite possibly. I mean, that's Clan of the Cave Bear basically in a nutshell. If you've seen that movie.
Do we see any similarities across cultures that do this practice? From, if you trace that map that you pulled up earlier, in fact, it's still here. Can I put that on stage?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
so
do
we have similarities in cultural practices and beliefs?
Yeah. Well, first of all, almost all of the ones in the Pacific believed that this modification of their skull was important to make them harder, faster, stronger, better.
Okay.
The other one is there was a lot of the same animism, so you can't really necessarily say that was connected. Probably the biggest cultural connection that I see through most of the ones in America is the way that they were buried was displayed. Like the Paracas mummies were all in bundles and shoved in a cave. And I already described the canoe burials. There was another one in the Pacific Northwest where they would take driftwood and they would make like these weird catacombs above ground of almost like teepee after teepee of driftwood stacked together, and they would just sit grandpa over in a corner. So they did have this kind of thing culturally. It's also interesting to note that the Kelp Highway hypothesis and that map almost perfectly overlap. And, the candelabra of the Andes is right there by Paracas, Peru, right? So the idea, the candelabra of the Andes is visible 12 miles out to sea. So that could have very well been like, I personally think that they were very connected in the Pacific. And I think the skulls are step one of kind of seeing that connection. That's the fact that they all believed that it made them better. And this is why they did it. But yeah, if you
Let-
look at the Kelp Highway hypothesis, man, it goes right along that fucking from the Bering Bridge right down the entire west coast of the U.S., just like either one of those
yeah.
maps.
What was the next
Sorry.
super chat there from word of mouth?
Well, I'll bring it up, but also okay, so if they were emulating a long-head hominin, like a separate human species of some kind, like that almost is like we see that represented in super ancient artwork. I mean, what was it with on megalithic mysteries? We recently had someone on that showed us the elongated skull Egyptian hieroglyphs.
Derek, megalithic marvels.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah, Derek showed us that, and it's I don't know.
Dan,
That
have you
just I
met
feel like
Derek?
if they're emulating something, then they're emulating something that existed that could have
I wanna
existed
say
much longer ago. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I have, but I don't think I have actually. I do agree with what you're saying, though, Sammy. I do think that it traces its way back. And I think that's why there's a certain point where they don't want. In my opinion, there's a certain point where the skulls are just we can't see these. They don't want us to look at them.
Yeah.
That's why it's the museums that are keeping them under lock and key. By the way, the tribes that aren't the one. They say we don't want you to look at them, but it's museums that are doing it ubiquitously. All the entire Pacific, from Maori to fucking Hawaii, all of them are supposed to have the same beliefs according to the museum curators, which is crap. But yeah, they're hiding it. And I think that is part of kind of the whole like mystery of the past. I don't get too crazy with the conspiracy side of stuff, but there's definitely, the more I look into this, there's definitely something going. There's no secret that Baghdad battery got snagged, and I'll tell you what, they ever fucking renovate the place where that anti-Kithra mechanism is, that thing's going to disappear too. Guaranteed.
So have you changed your mind yet on ancient technology?
I mean, not really as far as high technology. No,
Yeah.
I think more of. I just think that the past was more. You ever read any of the old Conan books? I mean, I'm not going that crazy.
Yes, I love that. I grew up on it, reading all of the Robert Howard books.
There you go. Yeah, the world was connected, in my opinion, in a way.
Hyperborea and all that. Word of mouth guy says, which means who were the long head people and did they build all the shit? Not Dan's wheelhouse, but the fake mummies got those too. The reptilian stone figures have elongated skulls. I think
he's talking about the tridactyl ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you at on those?
Well, it's unfortunate. Peru's got a lot of problems with corruption in archaeology and stuff, and they don't seem to just be letting everybody put their little dick skinners on. You have to be one of the cool kids, and that
be in the club.
Yeah, and that I don't mind it if it's like you got to have. I do mind it to a degree if you've got to have the letters next to your name, but it's like not only do you have the letters next to your name, but you got to be one of the right ones. Otherwise, we're not going to let you have the data. That's when it's like alarm bells go off, right? Mm-hmm. Only the true believers know how to evaluate the words of the Bible. It's like, yeah, fuck off.
Gatekeepers. Thank you, Scott. Greetings. Have any elongated skulls been found in the Grand Canyon? And what do you think they are hiding in the Grand Canyon?
I am not aware of any that were found in the Grand Canyon, but they are definitely hiding something in the Grand Canyon. And if they're going to say that it's just some sacred Native American site, dude, you're gonna have to fucking pull the other one, dude. I live in the Pacific Northwest. You can go talk like that to somebody who lives in Oklahoma, and their tribes all have, they just look like another city. But out here, man, no, dude, no. There's sacred ground gets trampled all the fucking time. You don't believe me? Go look at Mount Rushmore. I ain't fucking buying that crap for 1 second. It's that was a treaty that was violated, right? Now, and if you look at how that went down, right, with the whole Black Hills thing, it wasn't like the United States government was like, we're going to break this treaty. They just kind of got stuck in because all the settlers started showing up and going up there to mine gold. And it was either protect them or let the Indians kill them all. So they started protecting the settlers, but then they were like, fuck it, drive the truck home, carve our faces on the side of this damn thing. And yeah, so yeah, I don't buy that this little area over here has got a little sacred Indian side. There's something definitely goofy with it, but that kind of stuff, man, you could get speculative as you want about it, but when they hide something, it's almost like it's almost worse that they hide it, because your imagination goes nuts, right? It could be nothing more than a freaking place with a gravity anomaly, but we're all thinking it's got Area 51 or some wild shit, right?
Or Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon.
Yes, that's a big one, man. That is the big one, isn't it?
Well, it's really odd that all those peaks there in the Grand Canyon are called Temple of Isis. They're all named after Egyptian places.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So, yeah, you can. You know what? Just pull it up on a map, and we can show everyone here. That'll be good. I'm gonna pull up the last super chat. Where are we at?
From Nick here. I've got one. If you look at certain populations around the world, interbreeding, perhaps generations of interbreeding created. That's Kurt mentioned a similar thing yesterday, so they could just be a bunch of those Hapscoods with their elongated faces from screwing their sisters over and over again.
Look, man, there's areas where this is culturally practiced, so you have huge percentages of the population inbreeding. So this is not like it's just a joke. No, it's happening all over the world. So
it is. It's.
There's also one more word of mouth thing.
How do we point to and find a cultural divergence 12 to 13,000 years ago, maybe 10,000 years ago? Well, if you're looking at when you look at things like that, with, for example, the ordinations, there's the ordination the ordinations, are over on the in Europe. They're kind of contemporary to the Clovis people, and they can track a lot of cultural variations within those people based on the difference in their styling of tools and whatnot. But there's always these moments of innovation. For example, if you're tracking like the advancement of the automobile, and then they invent the airplane, it's like you start getting airplanes, and it's like you've missed this. There's a whole jump there, and then when you're looking in the record, you're not finding every little piece, right? You're finding like half of 1% if you're lucky. So the best ways for them to do this, the best ways for them to find cultural divergence is obviously DNA. But if you're talking about just artifacts in the record, it really does come down to similarities and subtle differences, and kind of similar to how they track language, I guess you'd say, where it's like they're looking for similarities and differences, and how these differences and subtleties evolve over time and region. God, I sound like a fucking nerd sometimes.
Welcome to the club, buddy. So how do you? Oh, did you find it, Sammy?
Yeah, this is Isis Temple in the Grand Canyon.
And there's like, I don't know, a handful of other sites that are all named after Egyptian places in the Grand Canyon.
Cheops Pyramid, Osiris Temple, Tower of Ra, Horus Temple, named by Clarence Dutton.
Yeah. So these are all places with Egyptian names in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Well, if it's Isis Temple, they won't let us visit. It's probably because there's an IED hidden inside. But sorry, I couldn't help it.
We don't have a sound effect for that. We need to get one.
A little bump, but
sorry, Dan, you don't get the rim shot. You get the.
So, is this kind of? Are you digging into this deeper? Are you?
Yeah.
Is this going to be your topic in Sedona?
I am, and in fact, before I go to Sedona, I'm going back to the area where all those skulls were on this island. It's so interesting. Where those 3,000 burials were that I told you about earlier in the video. This was found by Lewis and Clark. The next guy that shows up, he is the son of a member of the Skull and Bone Society. He goes up there and does some goofy astronomy stuff by himself, comes back down. When his boys leave, the entire area catches fire and all of the burials are burnt and lost forever. Then people move into that, and eventually a company buys it and they start mining it and slowly destroying it. Now, there's rumors that this was built by natives, that it was built on by natives, that it was like partially modified, kind of like Genong Penang. And there's rumors that it was hollow inside, but they wouldn't sell. The gravel company mined it for gravel and wouldn't sell it because it was supposedly a valuable source of basalt in the Pacific Northwest. Basalt is fucking free. It's around all of the foothills, and you drive around, it's just dripping with basalt. And when they finally did mine the whole thing away, it's gone completely now. You can't get to that area still. And the gravel was used to pave the streets of the town of Longview that was built by R.A. Long, Raw Long. And this town of Longview was shaped like a fucking pyramid. If you pull up the town of Longview's the map of the town of Longview, Washington, and you can see it. It's just a pyramid, and it even has a little focal point coming out of the top with a little circle, like little cul-de-sac. It's so fucking goofy. Planned community.
Sammy, are you doing that? I want to
Yeah,
see
it looks-
this. This sounds really interesting.
It's so goofy, and it's like the whole area is just weird. There's rumors of other structures there that were there that were destroyed. And my friend that got me going on this, we know of one of those places that you look on satellite imagery and there's a square on the ground. So we're gonna go put our boots there and potentially investigate a couple of things else as well. So yeah, I'm definitely going back, and we'll have more information. I'm definitely releasing a lot of new information at Sedona, and I don't even know what all it's going to be yet because I ain't been there.
You know,
Yeah, look at the
wow.
the four posts. See, they've got the street kind of cut one off, but you can see that there's a four-way pyramid. Basically, there's the four sides of the pyramid. See if you can grab one that's more where you can see the street layout better. That's that black and white one, honestly, that you had first would probably be that works good too. So you see, you've got these diagonals you see running across where there's like a center of the town.
Yeah.
You think about that as the peak of a pyramid, and then you've got the four sides going down four different directions, and then like straight, not quite straight to the right, you see this kind of double line going out.
Yeah.
That double line goes to a little cul-de-sac that is like the little focal point coming off the top of the pyramid, and just like it gets all goofy Masonic, like massive amounts of Masonic symbolism, which I'm not so much into, but I can, you don't have to believe in Santa Claus to believe that people give away Christmas presents, right?
Yeah.
So I don't believe in all that goofy shit, but I believe that R.A. Long certainly did. And the rumors up there are wild. The stories are stories of underground tunnels, stories of people being walled alive inside of them, stories of the tunnels like being built and then finding ancienter ones inside. Just all kinds of goofy, wild shit. And I have a little bit of access, and some of the places are recently been made available for the first time in a while. So we're gonna go, and I'll have more to report on soon. So yeah.
So I don't want to interject myself into your travels, but I would love to come up there and see some of this. And a while back, this is several years, honestly, it's probably like been 4 or 5 years, someone sent me, I get a lot of emails, I'm sure you do too, about places and stuff. Obviously I can't go everywhere.
Yeah.
But I do remember there being mounds and different stuff that were undocumented up there. And there's a site up there that somebody sent me pictures of, and I have it all saved away. I have to go through it. That's up there in Washington. I would love to go and see as well. So maybe I can shoot that over your way. At least if you're going out, you could check it out too if you're interested. And if you want any company, let me know, because I can get up there and I could probably still get Sammy to take a weekend off maybe and explore as well. If she
Yeah, she
can.
doesn't take a weekend off. She lives right here. You can just fucking
I know.
get in your car.
Yeah, we have to get her to
stay up late.
cancel some tattoo appointments.
Just make him ride in the car with you.
Let's just do it during the week.
Mobile tattoo.
There we go.
It's part of the experience.
No, this one's honestly I've been loath to even mention this, but I'll go ahead and say it because I am skeptical that the lead is going to pan out, and I'm afraid to say that publicly because I don't want my lead to get mad. But I have been told that when I go over there, that somebody knows where Mel's Hole is, can take me to Mel's Hole. If you've ever heard of that, it's some Art Bell urban legend over by Seattle, some gigantic fucking deep hole in the ground that's like you could throw a car down. It would never make a noise the whole way down. Just go.
Oh.
So like, I'm sure somebody in the comments will be like, Mel's Hole, holy shit. But yeah, I'm very skeptical because it's like one of these things. It's like Mel's Hole was made up. Exactly. That's esoteric. That's what I'm skeptical of it. But I'm going to be over there. Somebody says that there's a hole there. I show up there and it's not impressive enough, and I'll just shove his dumb ass in it. So you'll see. This is why I didn't want to talk about this in public. Sorry, dude. I only shove you in it once. I promise.
Yeah, that's pre-crime. You can't talk about that.
I'm insane right now. I've been smoking so much of the devil's lettuce. I don't know what I'm saying.
That's post-crime. That's post-crime and pre-crime. I know.
No, you're in Washington. You're good.
Yeah, that's true.
You come down to Texas and try to do that. Yeah.
Oh, he'll be dead by the end of the week. Ellensburg, yeah, that's where it's supposed to be. Yeah, here in Washington, if I want a parking spot, I just get out of the car and like stand in front of it, act like I'm fented out. My friend will drive around the block and park. He'll say nothing. I do that in Texas, I'll get shot. You just stand there on the side of the road and go, nobody's gonna. You got at least 10 minutes before anybody gonna say a fucking word.
I will say this: it depends on where in Texas you're at. I'm in Austin, and it's a bit. Austin is definitely more California vibes than the rest of the state.
When I was there last time, I went out to some bars on 6th Street. When I was coming back to my hotel,
yeah, Knucklehead, I was with you.
Yeah, you were. And then when I was coming back from, but then when I left, it was my last night there. But I went back to the room. It is late, and there was some girl walking down the street, and she just goes, shows me her bra as she's walking by, and it was clearly advertising. It wasn't like she's saying, "Hey, do you like my boobs?" She's saying, "Hey, how much do you want to rent these for?" And I only had $1.65, so it was only about 20 minutes. But
Hey man, that's 6th Street down here, and if I imagine you had fun on 6th Street because I've been around the world and there's nowhere else really that compares to 6th Street in Austin. It's insane.
Yeah, I had a good time.
It's just like 2 miles of nothing but bars on either side of the road. Just you can walk till you're out of breath, and it's nothing but bars. And the
streets are shut down, so you can walk through it without getting ran over. It was one person. Like I went to I can't think of the name. I went to Liberty with you. Obviously, there was one other place that I went to a bit. And they had the bartender recognized me the first night, and then when I went back to the second night, there was a lot of transgender people that went there. I never had so many transgender people want to talk to me favorably about Joe Rogan in my life. It's like up here in Spokane, I'll get yelled at for it, but they're like, "Oh man, I loved in Austin, in 6th Street, fucking." Yeah, it was. I wish I could remember the name of the bar, but it's all. I'd have to look them up. I follow all these bars that I go to on Instagram so that I can remember when I go back. I've got a way to experience each town's blue collar life. Is you go to the town and you look up a dive bar, and then you look for one that's like 4 stars. Because if it's 5 stars, it means it's a sports bar. It's not pissed anybody off. You got to have something where there's at least like one person getting beat up, or a mouse in the corner, or something where somebody's woman was just like, this place
bartender like cussed them out, or
thank you. So when I show up there, I'm not getting all the meat market shit. I want the dude that just got off work that's sitting there. He comes here every night. That's
Yeah.
Then you experience
Technically-
Austin, right?
Technically, there's still a handful of bars that technically I'm not allowed in here in Austin from my younger years. They don't, wouldn't remember
They don't
me
recognize
anymore,
you.
but yeah, they don't recognize me anymore. But
I've
yeah,
never
dude,
been 86.
Oh,
what's
man.
that?
I've never been 86.
No, yeah,
Yeah, I'd never
Yeah,
been
we used
69. So what do you do?
yeah. We
Sorry.
used to tear it up a little bit, me and my buddies, and get into some trouble.
I have 86.
You'll be
people.
back. You'll be back here in Austin for the conference in October.
Yes, sir.
So we'll have to make a real night of it instead of just to hang out like last time.
Yeah.
We'll have to make a real night of it, which is not hard to do. I don't really drink anymore. So you get 3 craft beers or 3 whatever, anything over 3.5. And if I have 3 or 4 of those, I'm done. Beer's so strong now. I can't even just have a beer without, I can't have one beer without catching a buzz. It's like 8% alcohol now. It's like,
You should try the weed nowadays. My God, man.
bro, no.
No.
I
I
just-
can't do it, man.
Instant anxiety attack. And yeah.
My dad tells a story about when he was in Thailand during Vietnam, and some dude was talking about how awesome he was at smoking weed, and they smoked some Thai stick with him, and he was about 20 minutes later, well, man, I am losing my mind, and I ain't never going to get it back. We've all been there, man. The 20s was great. Not the 1920s, but probably.
I don't think I've ever done anything overseas either. I've never.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places where it's, I'm like, I'm not going out at night. That's crazy. This is crazy to do that here.
Yeah, about
Not
the only
even
thing I would do overseas. About the only thing I think I'd do overseas would be like exactly some lady dude, like Guillermo said.
Oh,
That's the only thing you'd catch me doing overseas. One of those Thai man boy girl things.
just so we know that you didn't just drop that out of the blue.
Probably wouldn't even know. It's pretty convincing.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So
Anywho, elongated schools.
Yeah. Someone made a comment earlier, way earlier in the show about the possible connections, or it's had my brain thinking this whole time, because they're talking about how it's illegal to dig up mounds in America. So even if you own the land, if it has a mound on it that's been identified, it's illegal to dig it up on your own property.
Yep.
And I think most, correct me if I'm wrong here, but most tribes also are against the excavation of mounds in America.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this creates an interesting problem here, because on the one hand, NAGPRA protects grave goods. So like a burial mound is the burial mound, but like a mound that's full of artifacts that was made to like honor a god, for example, Serpent Mound, if that was just made to be aligned with the sun, for example, like Graham's. Okay, if there's no burials in there, then technically NAGPRA don't cover that shit. However, NAGPRA is a legal thing, right? So you can tie that shit up in courts, and it is really difficult to get into a legal battle with an entity that has a casino that doesn't pay taxes. Really fucking hard to beat those guys in court. Really, really, really fucking hard. So as a result,
your logic.
Oh, well, thanks. It's the truth, though, right? I mean, as a result, what you got, I know I have a friend that had worked in mines for about a decade. I worked as an electrician, doing a lot of groundwork. And I will guarantee you that those cultural resource management firms that archaeology does, the majority of archaeology work in the United States is checking the ground to make sure they can do their big building project, and they're not going to cut up some burial mound. They're all going to have the same operating standard. If you find something that's going to shut this fucking project down, stick it in your pocket and don't tell anybody.
Right.
Duh. You're not, and the CRM firms, the ones that are hired, they're private entities, and they're hired by big government and big building corporations to greenlight projects through the red tape. The ones that consistently find arrowheads are not going to be hired. The ones that consistently don't find arrowheads, even when I saw one on the property myself, those are the ones that are going to get hired. So this isn't complicated. The problem is the more that one side pushes to protect their stuff, the more the other side pushes to hide it. So you end up with this weird scenario. There's an island up here on Lake Ponderay that is a known Memelusalahi, which is the Chinook word for grave, like burial ground. It's a known burial island. It's also privately owned. There was a cabin on it that was built back in the day, and it blew over in the 80s. They couldn't sell this thing for like 20 years because you couldn't build on it until the guy who bought it is him and his brother own a construction company. And I guarantee you, whatever they build there, they're not going to find any artifacts when they do it. Duh, fucking duh. This isn't complicated. So it's unfortunate because we end up with this scenario where we the dumbass white collar motherfuckers don't look at the way the regular world works. So they're like, oh, we're going to pass these laws. It's going to fix everything. It's like all you did was make things worse. All you did is make things worse.
Yeah. Yeah. We have kind of seen that. We have international companies working in America that are known for doing some of this stuff. The Rio Tinto company secured the contract in Montana for excavating on BLM land up there, which was potentially could affect parts of the Sage Wall and different areas and sites up there. Right now, Rio Tinto is a multinational company that's done a lot of work in Australia and has destroyed hundreds of sites up there. And have basically moved through Australia, dynamiting stuff and asking questions later, looking after, right? So it's like, we've identified this site. We don't do any search. They go out there, dynamite it, blow it up. If somebody figures it out, then they have to stop or whatever. But yeah, they blew up some cave that had like evidence of human habitation dating back over 40,000 years and have destroyed hundreds of sites. Well, they're the ones that secured the contract in Montana for mining minerals up there. Yeah, that's just kind of how it goes, right? And these companies are responsible for double checking themselves.
Yeah.
So there's no entity that's coming in while they're working, making sure everything's being done correctly or.
Well, they get like here in the States anyway, there are some sort of like they'll do some sort of inspection-y type of things, but I mean, it's so little. I jokingly, when archaeologists online will argue with me about it, I compare it with internal affairs with the cops. And they're like, oh, we've got these things that make sure that everything. Oh, yeah, same with the cops. No problem. No problem with police brutality. We've got internal affairs. What the fuck you mean? We don't do anything wrong. We got IA. We inspect our own. Fuck you. And
yeah.
Again, this is that white collar. I'm not trying to be an ass about it, but it seems like the people that I know that think this way tend to they're the ones that really don't like. They walk around the homeless people downtown and feel sorry for them, and I just look at him and I'm like, yeah, that guy's a fucking tweaker. I still feel a little bad for him, but not the same as they're like, oh, that guy made some horrible life decisions. It's like, no, dude, that guy made one bad life decision. He just keeps fucking making it. It's yeah, I end up being a lot different view on these things than a lot of those guys do.
Where, how are you, if you don't mind me asking, and if it's stuff that you're still working on, please just tell me to move on. But what's the angle of pursuit in terms of the cover-up or surrounding all of these topics with the elongated skull, with the archaeology, with the universities, with all of this? How are you tackling that?
Well, the first thing I wanted, when I put my video out on it, I want people to, when you find information about this, like send it to me, especially like, we know that they, like I've got that book, The Chinook Sign of Freedom, from the Smithsonian. It's not available online. You can't find a PDF of it or any of that stuff. There's a lot of these records of sailors and explorers that would talk about witnessing cranial modification or seeing the bones of that a lot of times these are, you'll have an expedition that goes like Lewis and Clark's expedition. You get the letters of Lewis, you get the letters of Clark, and you get a couple of other dudes. But there's a lot of literate people that wrote diaries on there that we don't really hear about from as much, right? It's the same research bias you get with anything. If somebody's talking about the Great Pyramids or talk about pyramids, you get the Great Pyramid first. It's Lewis and Clark expedition, you get Lewis and Clark stuff. Captain Cook's expeditions, you get Cook's records and a couple of his officers. But there's a lot of rank and file people that wrote diaries. There's a lot of information out there, and they are actively hiding it. There's no question that it is being erased. So saving it, archiving it, is probably a kind of a big important thing. And I don't mean on the Internet Archive, because it's fucking being erased, man. It needs to be places that they can't touch, that are our hard drives and personal.
Yeah, what was all that information released recently about Wikipedia and how corrupt it was in terms of like, I'm not remembering exactly what that was. I remember.
I don't remember all the details, but it was already telling me what I already knew. And usually when I see confirmation bias stuff, I either resign myself to dig into it, or I just nod my head and don't look at it hard. So I didn't read it. I already knew from digging into John Hoops that Wikipedia is a cesspool of academics that are in there trying to battle pseudoscience and bullshit, everything wrong think, which, I mean,
yeah.
Right off the bat, that's if really quickly, like there are two different kinds of people when it comes to thinking about things like this. Michio Kaku said it really well during an old atheism debate 20 years ago. You've got certain people that are very skeptical and very pragmatic, and there's certain people that believe in chance and in fate and in the gods. And you could say that this is, it's modern, but I will guarantee you that if you went back to the Roman soldier times 2,000 years ago, you would find some Roman soldiers that were like, there is no God. I was there at that day at the battle, and he wasn't fucking there. You're going to hear that same soldier's cry of there is no God that you've heard 1,000 times. I think that that's normal, and we have these two separate parts of the human psyche. And so when everybody is like, you need to not think that the pyramids were made to be a power plant, or you're just stupid. It's like, dude, you're arguing against literally half of fucking humanity that thinks on a fundamental level different than you. You are so pissing up a rope. But you may as well be a Halo fan arguing with the Call of Duty kids for all the fucking effort or all the change you're going to make in the world. It's nothing. But people have a hard on for it. I don't know why. Anyway, sorry. Soapbox now.
So Sedona, when you get to Sedona, you'll be diving into this more in depth for everyone.
Yes. I've got I'll show you some smoking gun stuff with the Rockefeller and whatnot that I talked about. I'll show you some specific islands, like some specific things that you can't find. Like I keep referencing certain things, but then we're going to go put our boots on the ground and check some stuff out. If there is, okay, I've showed this painting before. I don't have it on my desktop right now, but it's a painting that was made by one of the old timers in Longview that shows an area there where you could see Mount St. Helens in the background of it. And it's got a castle in the painting, and it's clearly European looking castle, but it's like really old and grown over, but it's like that area it's right there in Longview. If you look on the map where that castle was in dude's painting, that's where there's a square on the ground. There was something there. And the rumor is, from the few of the locals that talk about it, is that there was some sort of fort there, some sort of fortification there. It was destroyed when the town was built, because even by the time the 1800s, early 1900s, by the early 1900s, when they were building the stuff over here, there were laws against destroying mounds and shit. They'd already passed laws against it. So, like putting an arrowhead in your pocket, you just chop that thing down and don't tell anybody what it was. Right. And so we're going to go check that one out. And I think that the fact that it's a European looking castle, I think, is a testament to the fact that the guy didn't, he's just repeating what he was told. He didn't know any better. He didn't know that there was, maybe it was more Inca or whatnot.
Is that town of Longview, is the center, is it on a hill? Does it all go up?
No, it's
Elevated. It's all flat.
nope, it's
The
all
road's
pretty
just
flat. Yeah.
designed in that shape.
The roads are designed in that shape, and the 4 arms of the pyramid were. There's a few things. Those were done with the gravel that came from that burial rock that the natives had. They were done in an octagon pentagon style of paving instead of squares, which is fucking crazy. And you really look at it, but there's the image in the center of town of R.A. Long. It's not an image, it's a statue. Him sitting on a bench. There's a little girl handing him a rose, and she's holding 12 other ones in her hand, and she's handing him the 13th rose. It's like this Masonic symbolism shit.
Right.
And they just shove it right in your fucking face there. They don't even, there's zero fucks given. I mean, again, the guy's name was Robert Long, and he went by R.A. Long, Long. He was fucking, and the whole area was, he built up like St. Charles, Missouri, I think it was. He was a big Freemason and big into like designed communities and stuff. Like he was a lumber baron who bought a bunch of trees up here, and he wanted to make a place for people to get enough labor to mill it all. And so he created the town of Longview, and he made it what he wanted. He expected it to be all like, he expected it to be as big as fucking New York City by now.
How big is it?
Sammy. 40,000 people or something.
40,000. Where'd Sammy go?
I don't know.
She's like, I'm out.
Yeah. 5-minute drive. You got a 35-minute drive to Longview, huh, Nick? You should show up over there. Well,
there's a Longview here in Texas too.
Oh yeah.
Out east. I got some family out that way. You know what? Now that makes me want to look at that city's layout.
Yeah, I mean it's named Longview because it was R.A. Long, his view, his long view. It's like, it's not. Oh, it's just a Cahokia. Okay, well, yeah, I used to live close to back there too, Nick. But yeah, it's more than a 45-minute drive from Cahokia to Washington. Sorry, like an hour and a half, I think.
now I got to look it up. Because what if I look it up here in Texas and it has the same layout?
I don't know what happened to Sammy. I think she died. Oh no. Her house she got swatted. Fucking Flint Dibble's getting all pissed off.
Okay, Longview, Texas is definitely not like
not
that
the same
at all.
Longview.
No, there appears to be no rhyme or reason to the development of Longview, Texas.
So what does someone do if they find the remains of a giant? Seriously, because they just covered it up? Well, there's 2 things you can do. 1, you can make a YouTube video and get called a liar, or 2, you can sell it to a Rockefeller. Those are the 2 things. Yeah. Or, I guess it was the third one. You could open. Has any of you ever read Another Roadside Attraction? Where a guy finds Jesus's body in the basement of the Vatican, so he brings it back to Seattle, and he puts it up as in a roadside attraction, so people can go like check out Jesus's corpse.
Is this a real story?
It's a story by same motherfucker that did Tim Robbins, the same guy that did Even Cowgirls Get the Blues. The fucking crazy Washington State author. Yep.
Let me see if Sammy's messaging me.
Yeah.
Nope. I don't know what happened.
I hope she's okay, man, because that was just weird. It was like she entered the studio. Yay! Add her to the stage. Get your ass on the stage, Sammy. Did you get swatted?
My internet crashed.
Well, it's better than getting swatted. That's all right.
I'm alive. I just had no internet for a second there. What I miss?
We were talking about the Another Roadside Attraction. Do you know that book? No. It was about a guy who was working for the Vatican, and then he's like in the Vatican secret archives, and he finds the body of Jesus who's dead, and so he brings him back to Seattle and puts it up in a roadside attraction where they sell like juice and vegan hot dogs. And yeah, it's some goofy book written by the same dude that did Even Cowgirls Get the Blues, if you remember that movie with Uma Thurman.
No.
Yeah,
now you're showing your age, Dan.
Fuck, I'm old, man. You know, what do you want from me? This is Max Headroom over here. This isn't that.
Dude, hey, you're not that much older than me, dude. I'm 47, about to be 47.
Yeah, I'm 50. About to be a million. Jesus.
You got a few years on me, but I've always loved. I love Max Headroom and stuff because that was right when I was growing up. It was on everything, you know.
It was that was, and if you watch the TV show, honestly, it's so ahead of its time. Like they've got a military faction in one of the episodes that does all this damage and terrorism, and strictly with the intention of making a show. It's not to destroy anything. It's just to like the whole thing is TV networks own the world and control governments and everything else. And it's so we don't use TV networks nowadays, but you tell me that YouTube is China's bitch or China's YouTube's bitch. Hey, go on. Okay, we know who butters the bread nowadays, right? It's crazy how the world is so similar to that.
Yeah. You know, the 80s, man, that was, I don't know if it's just nostalgia or what, but it just felt like just a really fun time to be a kid, you know?
It was.
The best. I love the 80s.
Oh yeah, Sammy's like, yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, no.
Yeah, what are you, Sammi?
About the 90s though.
What are you technically?
I'm a millennial.
A millennial, yeah. So what are we, Dan? We're Gen, because I was born in the 70s.
We're Gen X.
Gen X.
We're the people that we're the beginning of not knowing. We don't know what we're gonna be, man.
You're like that. You're like younger Gen X then.
I mean, I guess you could call it that, but like, I mean, I came of age in I turned 15 in 1990. That was like when they started calling it Gen X, and I was, you know, a teenager that was old enough to be. Fucking, I don't like this Nirvana so much, but this Pearl Jam ain't too bad. But yes, you know, it was
just old enough to not like the new stuff coming out, the grunge.
80, yeah. Millennial generation was from 81 to 96.
Okay. Yeah.
You were born in the late 70s, mid 70s. Then you're like young Gen X.
That was like the Coke and Pepsi wars. You still had stuff like Miami Vice and neon lights on everything. Max Headroom.
We all got screwed. Was what happened. The way we all got screwed because of grunge. And what happened was we were all raised on the dreams of big-titted chicks with cocaine and alcohol and loose and easy. And then we got all these fucking stoner hippie chicks that just wanted to cry about the state of the world. It was bullshit. Complete bullshit. Fuck you, Nirvana. Eat another barrel.
But we did get more goth chicks.
Yeah.
After all that. So
it did take a while.
But that definitely rooted in the 80s. Like 80s metal hair bands is definitely like the root of goth.
Oh, dude, the hair back in the day was just insane. I have pictures with mullets. I have pictures. I had a rat tail. What else?
Yeah, the goth scene. I mean, the Cure started that really. Fucking Robert, what's his fuck? I forget his last name right now.
Yeah,
but he's where the pale eyeliner, pale makeup, black eyeliner, disheveled, strangly, stringy hair. I
look back. It's so many of the artists, and I'm like, how did everybody not know that this dude was gay?
Oh, well, dude,
like wasn't talked about, or it was like it was normal because they were saying that their songs were always like they were talking about a chick, they were talking about a dude.
Oh man, the funniest of all of those was George Michael when he died and people were like, "Oh, George Michael was gay." It's like, yeah, dude. Wake me up before you go, and he's fucking singing it in bicycle shorts, you bonehead. What more do you need?
This is feminine.
He's just in touch with his feminine side. No.
Yeah.
He has people touch his feminine side. I ain't fucking buying this for a second.
I do wish more like 80s aesthetic, 80s vibe had made like a comeback, because I feel like it's like the only era, the only like generation, like you can wear pretty much anything right now. I feel like there's I feel like right now there's no like defining feature of like the aesthetics of how people dress. Like it's just an amalgamation of like everything that's come before, except for the 80s. Where's the big hair and the leather and like the biker jackets? Like why is that not a thing?
It's hard to pull off if not everybody's doing it. I mean, you're really an outlier if you dress up in full 80s gear and
oh man,
you're the only one
Right,
that
like,
shows
really
up to the party.
oh yeah, I watched Parker Lewis Can't Lose. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure Mike remembers that one, but it's a TV show from the early 90s, like from 1990, and it was his stupid, but his shirts were, I threatened my son with it. He'll walk through the room and fuck with me. I'll be like, dude, we're going to the store and I'm buying you shirts like this right now. And it's like that Arsenio Hall shirts, right? Like the 4-colored, it's fucking just red, green, blue, yellow, and just a fucking black window frame in the middle. You're just like, Jesus Christ, just screaming, I am here. You know?
Dude, that was like they just fell in love with polyester.
Oh, dude, and remember the chicks with the coats that were like, fuck, those coats that were the girls would wear that were like all the different
silk shirts.
Different, oh man. But the coats that were like the different popping like really neon colors, and they would just be like these little wedges of like, here's pink and then green and then yellow, and just looked like mom ran out of fucking 28 different things.
Like the windbreakers.
I was just about to say they could bring the windbreakers back, and I wouldn't be mad about it. Dude, I had a lot of windbreaker outfits, and they were all neon colored.
You could find some of those. Hey, I bet you in Japan we'll be able to go find some of those in like a vintage thrift shop.
Oh, dude, I would so rock that.
I would too.
All right, we're gonna put that on the mission board.
Itinerary thrift shopping in Japan.
Find windbreaker outfits. Yeah.
Find some laser discs.
Yeah. Dan, tell us. Let's get into the quest stuff.
Yeah.
We are really excited to be doing. I'm excited to see you again in person, man. I've actually gotten to hang out with you several times now.
Yeah.
Man, we want people to come out and hang out with us too. It's gonna be fun. Love to hang out with everybody and see them there. Maybe get into some stuff. And I don't know, are there spots in town to go hang out and have a drink?
Oh yeah, that's a matter of fact. When I was there last time, I walked into town. I got off the little shuttle from the airport, right, and I go to a bar to get a bite to eat, and I was recognized immediately. This was about a year ago when Graham Hancock's Sedona, when he invited me to be in Sedona, but that was my first time in Sedona, and yeah, there's not a very good dive bar scene, but it's not a meat market scene either. It's a kind of a hippie. It's a hippie town, man, straight up.
Yeah. Go to the Kava bar.
The Kava bar?
Yeah.
For what? Kava?
Yeah.
What's Kava?
It's hippie stuff.
Is that stuff that comes out of volcanoes?
Honestly, I feel like you'd like it. No, it's like a plant, and like if you just like, there's like a traditional way of drinking it and it tastes like ass, but you can like this bar adds like juice and stuff to it, and so
ass juice.
It kind of it really masks the flavor. I recommend pineapple.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
Makes you feel like euphoric and chill. I don't know.
So it's a drink, and if you can just get past the way it tastes, you'll love it.
Okay. Oh, well, I can probably handle that then. I mean, that's alcohol, right?
Yeah, exactly. True. Very true. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, what is it like? Hype you up or bring you down?
No, it's like more like chill and.
Chill. So that's the way that I go, is more towards chill stuff, not.
Yeah, it's more chill.
Super energetic stuff.
Kind of heady.
Do with that information as you will.
You do both of them. You play Elvis. You go up and down and up and down and up. It's real help. It's good for your heart.
I was going to say, make your heart.
This is not medical advice, people.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Full disclaimer: listen to Sammy, not Dan.
Well, let's bring the event up on the
screen
here.
All right. Yeah, it's going to be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to it. Last time we got to hang out with a bunch of cool people and whatnot. And Sedona, Arizona is a weird little town, man. You're not going to go. I've never been anywhere like it. And I've been to a lot of different places in the States, but Sedona is a weird little town.
It is a weird little town. So you can come do the whole weekend for $249, which I think is a pretty good deal for 3 days. And
it's a great deal.
Hanging out and partying with us.
Yeah, you're definitely going to party with me this time. Last time I had a bunch of stuff going on, so when I showed up, when I went at Scottsdale, I was pretty beat. But this time I'm planning on showing up with ready to stay up and drink as long as my life will allow. My old age will carry it, and I bet it's going to be better than most of yours watch. And I don't care if you're fucking 20, I'll drink into the table. Let's go. I've been doing this since your parents were trying to decide what to do with that unwanted pregnancy.
I'll be the one sipping next to you, trying to pace myself for the whole evening.
I'll be the one watching out and going, Dan, you got to Dan.
Yeah, if I try to keep out with you, I'll last an hour or two, and then I'll be the guy passed out on the corner bar of the bar. How's he getting home? Did he drive?
I think Sammy and Ian could roll with me. They can hang.
Yeah, and then
we'll make you and Ian drink with us.
We're not going.
You're not going.
Conference?
Yeah,
we're not going.
Well, fuck. Then you can.
No.
I drink alone. Yeah, with nobody.
We're running a tight schedule because we are going to Japan a week after the conference. So
yeah, I understand.
For almost a month, Sammy and I will be in Japan for 3.5 weeks. Is that right, Sammy?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna go, and we just decided the other day. I was like, I don't think that it makes the most sense for me to go because I just feel like we have so many videos to work on, and and planning for the Japan trip. So I'd rather be well prepared for going into that.
Especially if you're going to thrift stores, you have to bone up on your Japanese.
I know. I'm one of those AI Japanese language trainer things. I keep getting ads for them now that I'm looking up stuff for Japan.
I can only say a few things in Japanese, like "Hapa o sui ni ikimashio" means you want to go smoke some weed, and "Abasure desu ka" means "Are you a hooker?" And these are the important things that you have to know.
Yeah,
the only things you need to know.
Well, man, I am really looking forward to seeing you. And
do you have presentations and stuff when you're there too, Mike? Are you gonna be babbling about a bunch of stuff, or are you doing all the organization? I know you're doing a bunch of that side of it. So
been helping there, and then I may host some panels. But yeah, I've had so much going on with the tours and different stuff. No, I won't be doing a full presentation.
Okay.
So but I think I'll be on stage with you guys. We're trying to get the panels all situated because we're trying to get a bunch of us on stage together for the audience to see us all hanging out and doing audience questions and engaging and stuff like that. So making it a little bit different so people feel more involved, and I think it's going to go over really well. And then having the time for the evenings to hang out and do stuff socially so we can all spend time together with everyone that's going to be there hanging out. So we hope you guys, let's drop a link in the comments, Sammy. And if people want to head over, we're going to post that to all channels right now. And so if you want to get tickets and come hang out with us in Sedona, we'd love to see you.
Do it.
And it's legal in Arizona, so you can smoke a bowl with Dan.
Yep. And you will be. I'm showing up. I'm showing up well rested and ready to rock. So, before I even get to my hotel or the Airbnb, I'm just gonna have at least 24 beers in tow, and I'm not in me, but in tow. I'm gonna be ready. And I'm going the whole weekend. The only time that I'm going to be sober is when I'm on stage, and even that's going to be dicey. So It's a few days of drinking. What do you want?
I loved it in
Sorry.
when we were in Scottsdale. We ended up on the stage together on the panel thing, and you'd already had some drinks. You were letting me know. You were letting me know quite a few things, and I was mic'd up, so I had to keep grabbing my mic and being like, "Dan," I was like, "Dan, I'm mic'd up. Dan,
whatever. Check it out.
whatever." Yeah,
He's just whispering into his mic.
directly into it. My mic's right here, and Dan's like,
So check it out,
motherfucking and I'm like, "Dan."
dude. I had fucking poor Hugh. I did the same shit to him, but I did it on purpose. I wasn't drunk with him. I did it just to fuck with him because we had been going around telling everybody how lesbians weren't real, right? Just making a stupid joke, right?
Yeah.
And then we're
Like,
sitting
it's a
up there.
conspiracy?
No, okay, like it's real simple. So say for instance you got like 3 15-year-old boys and they're all virgins. They all go to summer camp and they come back and 2 of them have had sex and one of them has done everything that you could do except for have sex. That last one's not a virgin, or that last one's still a virgin, right? It's the other 2 that aren't virgins anymore. So by that metric, women can't have sex with each other, which means lesbians are fake and they're just LARPing. This is all, which is why their tools look like men. This is so anyway, it was a joke, and we were all laughing about it. So the next day, me and Hugh are sitting on stage next to each other, and they're doing the announcements in the microphone. We're starting, and they're like, "And if you have any questions, make sure and we'll ask the audience. We'll see if we about asking members specifically." And I whispered to Hugh, "I hope nobody asks me if I think lesbians are real." He's God damn it.
That's what you whispered to the mic.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to see him make it. He was trying to get in the spot, and I just wanted to fuck with his head a little.
That was with Hugh?
Well, you definitely weren't the
I
drunkest one on stage, that's for sure.
I love Hugh, man.
Hugh's great.
I
Who
had
was
to
the
mess with
drunkest?
him. We've had this back and forth going on where I give him shit about beans, and I was over in England, and we hung out and went around together, and it was just like beans with every meal, and I was just like, dude, like, just like I don't understand. You guys are eating cold beans with breakfast. Anyways, when he went up on stage, I had brought 2 cans of Texas beans with me and put them up there on the podium. So when he went up to do his presentation, there were just beans on the stage. He had to move for his presentation. Well, it's going to be a fun weekend, man.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that you were able to join us again before the event. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's always fun talking to you, and it's good talking to you too, Sammy. It's too bad you can't make it, but I'm sure we'll see you again soon. I'll let you know when I'm going up to Longview. That shouldn't be very long from now, but a week or 2.
Yeah, dude.
But
let me
know. Only be a day or 2. Yeah, I'll let you both know.
If you're up for having me, dude, I'd love to come up there.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm excited for this. It's kind of weird.
Oh,
Give me a
yeah.
tattoo?
No kidding. So we'll be up there. I'll get tattooed. I've been trying to get tattooed by Sammy. I still got some spots I can fill up. I got a whole space on my arm right here.
It's amazingly enough, I escaped
But
Generation X. All I've got is 2 ear piercings. Yeah. And I didn't get no tattoos and no facial piercings, and I made it through the entire 90s and 2000s. It's crazy. It's like,
somehow you made it out unscathed, huh? I had to get my earlobes stitched up because I did the whole stretchy thing at one point. Yep. So I had to go into a plastic surgeon, and they cut them and stitched them together.
Ew.
Well, shit. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't
know what I was doing.
God damn it.
Well, that circles us back to elongated skulls.
I was gonna say this. I'm looking at the chat going, man, they haven't stopped talking about lesbians for like 10 minutes now.
You opened up Pandora's box.
Well, that might have been her name. I don't know. Pandora, or Elaine. I don't give a fuck what her name was. Somebody's box got opened. It took Sammy a minute.
No, I got it.
Okay. So did Pandora.
But I hope everybody everybody can join us in Sedona. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you come out, you can hang out with us. Dan said he'll buy you a beer, all of you.
All of you. I'll buy all of you one beer to share.
Everyone gets 24 beers.
That's right.
Everybody gets 20. It's a very giving person, so make sure you remind him
bring
of
a
that
bunch
when
of
you
beer.
see him in Sedona.
I have brought a bunch of beer to people before at these types of events where I just kind of wander out with a bunch of beer in my hand in North Carolina. I sure did.
We'll have to find some place at night where we can all go out into the woods or something and do an
Well, we're staring at an Airbnb, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'll look at this stuff. Yes, bring your elongated skull to Sedona 757 and a bunch of that there reefers you brought for me, boy. You brought me some good smoke before. That's not so I heard.
So we've already got smoking around, elongated skulls. Somebody's gonna bring the beer. We'll do it. We'll do an old-fashioned 90s campfire out in the woods, fire out in the woods with some beers and stuff.
It's Sedona, so I don't know if there's woods, but we're just like in the rocks.
Yeah, there you go.
I was gonna say
It's Sedona, so it's all stargazing. That's what we'll do. Somebody will bring crystals and yoga mats.
Oh man, shit.
I was gonna say, don't forget to you gotta invite the crystal chicks.
Yeah, the crystal chicks.
The crystal chicks, dude. That's honestly, if somebody asked me why I didn't have more groupies that were girls, and I said if I was looking for groupies that were girls, I'd be talking about crystals instead of pyramids. But that's just really, astrology tends to get more girls.
To Tucson.
Pyramids get more guys. This isn't complicated. Yeah. Girls like pyramids too, but they don't want to talk about how it was built.
Crystals and pyramids.
The girls don't like how the pyramids were built as much. They want to know if you put a banana in it, if it'll keep fresh longer and that kind of shit. That's astrology stuff, right? Sammy's like, well, that's a good question, Will.
It's like,
how many bananas?
Never thought of that.
No, they used to sell little plastic pyramid things back in the 90s. Little plastic pyramid, kind of like a bread basket, like a bread bin to store fruit and stuff in, supposedly keep safe. And the trick with those, call me crazy, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say the trick was putting it inside of a plastic container that you closed, kept shit out of it. I could be wrong. I'm not a scientist.
It's the shape.
I think I'm going to go ahead and nominate this as our message of the entire stream, and we'll leave it that.
Yeah, is that the new title?
Crystal lesbian, dude. I'm checking fucking Netflix right after we get off here to see if this exists.
I'm changing the title of this video on YouTube to Crystal Lesbians with Elongated Skulls.
Fuck.
Perfect.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate you coming on, man. We'll have to have you back on again soon. And let me know if you are down for having me come up. I think Sammy and I would love to join you.
I will hit you both up very soon. Thank you so much. I really appreciate
everybody there in Sedona, and thank you guys for tuning in.
Everyone, take care. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.